It began like any other cheerful morning on Lorraine Kelly's show. The studio was warm, bright, and filled with the easy laughter of a host who'd done this 1,000 times before. Across from her sat Ricky Gervais, comedian, actor, and one of Britain's most outspoken voices. He was there to talk about his latest project, and for the first few minutes, everything seemed lighthearted. Lorraine smiled, tossing out playful questions about fame, humor, and the controversies that always seemed to follow Ricky wherever he went. He chuckled, joked, and met every remark with that quick wit audiences adored. But underneath the smiles, there was a subtle tension, the kind that only those familiar with live television could sense. Perhaps it was the tone in Lorraine's voice, a bit sharper than usual, or maybe the way Ricky leaned back in his chair, scanning her expression between answers. Something felt just slightly off. Still, viewers at home couldn't have guessed what was coming next. It was all too ordinary, too polished, until one single question, one offhand remark, would change the energy in the room completely. In that moment, it wasn't just another interview. It was a ticking clock, counting down to one of the most unforgettable live moments British morning TV had ever seen. The calm before the clash was over, and the storm was about to begin. The tension broke with one line. Lorraine, half laughing, leaned forward and said, "You do enjoy poking fun at people, don't you, Ricky? Sometimes I wonder if you even like anyone at all." Her tone was teasing. At least that's how she meant it. But Ricky's smile faded instantly. The studio, once buzzing with chatter, fell quiet. Viewers watching at home could almost feel the chill through their screens. Ricky looked directly at her, pausing long enough to make everyone uncomfortable. Then, in that calm yet cutting voice of his, he said, "You invite comedians to your show, then act surprised when they make jokes. That's a bit ironic, isn't it?" Lorraine tried to laugh it off. "Oh, come on, Ricky, you know what I mean." But it was too late. Something inside him had shifted. The exchange stopped being playful. He sat upright, eyes locked, and continued. "People pretend to love honesty until it's aimed at them. Then suddenly they call it rude. You could hear a pin drop." Lorraine looked unsettled but pushed on, trying to regain control. "I just think you sometimes go too far, that's all." Ricky leaned back again, smirked faintly, and replied, "And I think daytime TV goes too soft. Maybe that's why we're both here, you to comfort, me to confront." It was that last line that sealed it. The atmosphere had turned electric. The audience didn't yet know it, but they were seconds away from witnessing something live television rarely delivers anymore. A real, unscripted explosion of emotion. Lorraine took a breath, visibly trying to move things forward. "Anyway," she began, "let's talk about your upcoming tour." But Ricky interrupted. "No, let's finish what you started." His tone was firm, his smile gone completely. Lorraine blinked, startled. "Ricky, I didn't mean to upset you." He raised a hand. "You didn't upset me. You just reminded me why I stopped doing shows like this. Everything scripted, every laugh, every word, until someone says something real." The audience fell silent. Cameras kept rolling, capturing every second. Lorraine shifted in her seat, clearly uncomfortable but holding her composure. "This is live television, Ricky. Maybe we should—" He cut in again. "Exactly, live. So let's be honest while we've still got the chance." His voice grew sharper. "You asked if I like anyone. The truth is, I like people who mean what they say. Not people who smile for the camera and stab you with small talk." Lorraine's eyes widened. "That's a bit harsh." "Maybe," he said, pushing back his chair. "But at least it's honest." And then, without another word, Ricky stood up. The microphone brushed against his jacket as he walked off set, leaving Lorraine speechless. The director froze for a moment before cutting to an emergency commercial break. The audience gasped. Viewers at home sat stunned, unsure if what they'd seen was real or part of some elaborate publicity stunt. It wasn't. That moment, 30 seconds of raw truth, would go on to dominate headlines. Trending across social media within minutes, the network scrambled. Producers rushed onto the set, whispering into Lorraine's earpiece. The cameras returned from the break to show a visibly shaken Lorraine, smiling tightly as she said, "Well, that was unexpected." Within minutes, the clip began spreading online. On Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, millions were watching the moment Ricky Gervais stormed off live television. The reactions were divided right down the middle. Some called Ricky's behavior disrespectful and immature, insisting that no guest should walk out on a host. Others praised him for being authentic, saying he was the only celebrity brave enough to expose how fake morning TV can feel. Lorraine herself stayed calm. Later in the show, she addressed the situation briefly, saying, "We love Ricky, even when he's unpredictable. That's live TV for you." Her attempt to laugh it off didn't fool everyone. The tension still hung in the air. Meanwhile, Ricky broke his silence hours later on social media. His post was short but powerful. "If you invite honesty, don't be shocked when it shows up." It was classic Ricky. Blunt, unapologetic, and guaranteed to spark more headlines. For days, commentators debated who was right. Was it a clash of egos or a moment of truth about celebrity culture? Either way, one thing was clear. It was real, raw television, and that's why people couldn't stop talking about it. A week later, both stars addressed the moment again, separately and with a calmer tone. Lorraine described it as one of those unpredictable TV moments that remind us we're all human. She emphasized there was no bad blood and that she respected Ricky's honesty, even if it was difficult in the moment. Ricky, during a podcast appearance, was more direct. "I don't regret it," he said. "I just don't like playing nice for the sake of it." People crave authenticity, but most of the time, TV doesn't allow it. Older viewers especially connected with that message. Many said it reminded them of when television wasn't about scripts or PR. It was about real reactions, real emotions, real people. The incident became more than a viral clip. It became a discussion about honesty, respect, and the pressure of performing in front of millions. In the end, there were no villains, just two professionals caught in an unfiltered moment. And maybe that's why the story lingered so long. It wasn't polished. It wasn't planned. It was truth on camera, and that's something audiences rarely see anymore. As one commentator summed it up, Ricky Gervais didn't walk off because of anger. He walked off because he refused to play pretend, and that's what made it unforgettable. That's the beauty and the danger of live television. One unscripted moment can reveal more about fame, ego, and humanity than any planned interview ever could.